So, an overview of the housing services: we have 11,000 people on the housing waiting list, 3,000 families in temporary accommodation tonight, and I'll get to the point about what we're doing, which will impact you. So, what we've done since we brought the housing services in is do a stock condition survey. That's where we go into as many homes as possible and we look at the home and we see whether it meets the decent home standard. We've now done 80% of those, 82.5%, Chris will update me on, of those properties, and that was done through Savills. If you're a Lewisham tenant, you might have had Savills come in and do that stock condition survey in your flat. 24% of our homes are deemed as not decent or meeting the decent home standard across the borough. We identified 3,600 damp and mould cases, and 900 of those severe cases were in Luckhurst ward. So the idea of doing that stock condition survey is that when we brought the housing services in, there's significant investment planned over the next 5 years, but no coherent plan about where that money is going. In order for us to get that plan in place and for us to put the money where it's actually needed the most, we needed to do that stock condition survey. If we don't know what the stock looks like, we don't know what your homes look like, then we can't put the money where it's needed. That's the first step. Now, with 80% of the homes surveyed, that means we have been into 80% of our stock, 82.5% of our stock. So the current assumption is £70 million per financial year into the housing stock. That will involve resident involvement, learning from our complaints, consultation once the projects are scoped in various different estates, tenant and leaseholder engagement via the strategy. Some things that have improved: we had 18,000 jobs outstanding when we brought the housing services in. After a lot of work getting that data right, that's now around the 7,000 mark. When we brought the stock in the house, the phone lines were at 70 minutes to wait to report a repair. That recently has been down to 16ish minutes. That's still not good enough, but that is a difference of, people waiting an hour on the phone. So we are moving in the right direction with those. We've done that stock condition survey. As you will know, and as has been explained before, the complete lack of investment within social housing alongside our budgets, alongside a lot, especially in the north of the borough where we are, and in the estates in my ward, like Peeps Estate and the Stairs Court Estate, we have an ageing housing stock that, in a lot of cases hasn't been fit for purpose, but with no money to redevelop estates and with more and more people approaching us for housing. That is a dangerous mix, and that's not just a Lewisham problem. You will have seen, everyone here will have seen, that is a countrywide problem, and especially exacerbated in London.
Changing because it tends to stop and start projects.
And Chris isn't allowed to go anywhere.
There are other big pressures around, which are like building safety, compliance. It's probably, we know that we're not doing a good job in many areas. I'm responsible for repairs, I'm responsible for compliance, I'm responsible for building safety, and I'm responsible for the capital programme. Building safety, we are doing well. We're doing well compared to London authorities, we're doing well compared to nationally. We are taking our safety very seriously. We've got a long way to, we've got a lot of investment to do. We do know what we need to do around high-rise buildings in particular. We've got 58 of those. Compliance we do very well. So things like gas safety checks, understanding asbestos and where it is and how to manage it, electric safety. We do well in those areas. We could do a bit better on lifts, but we do well on those compliance areas, and that's good.
She's got 2 small children, and she's got black mould inside her flat. Now, black mould, as you know, is highly dangerous, and children can die from it. Now, as I say, this is 2023, and as much as you're saying, be patient, it gets to the point, if you're waiting 6 months, you can be patient.
Yeah.
If you're waiting from 2023, and we're now in 2025, the patient is like, I don't want to do anything now, I'm going down the legal route. So it's like, you've got to have a happy medium. And as much as people don't want to go down a legal route, because I've had to personally do that, because I've had scrap windows, and then still only got half of my windows done, but I've just given up the fight now because I just really can't bother.
So I wouldn't deter you from making sure you report it, constantly report and do whatever you can to actually get your job done. I will work from the other side and try and get the job done and improve systems to do that. But it's quite a long process from where we are, but we will try our best. So there is quite a lot. On capital programme, we've got a lot of expenditure going out year on year, and there are some wonderful projects which have happened year on year, and we don't promote those very well. But there's a lot of stock which needs a lot of investment, and I'll share some of the summaries of the stock condition survey.
Last year there was an open day thing in the cyber centre where you could go and report. I went in there with photos of this window because the wood is like that. The man came in, got this great big massive metal thing, they put it back up. Now I can't open the window or shut it. It's just there. And it's open about that much. Then when it was like really windy and that, my blinds were just going back and forwards.
So we're not.
But it makes, honestly, it makes me feel suicidal because I think I am sick and tired of keep complaining about it.
So it's only a plea to try and keep doing that. It's not, I'm not saying
No,
keep
I
patience.
understand that.
I'm saying it just helps a little bit.
Also, the same day I reported my bathroom taps, they drip, all of them. The cold, the hot, cold, the fast. The man told me just hit them. So that's what I do every night. Bang, my neighbours must have got bang.
Sad, you know, that we're in 2025 and people have their windows hanging out. And I know, you know, I'm sort of banging my head against the wall really about complaining because I don't, you know, but I think if, you know, if people want to feel safe in their own homes and more, we've got cost of living prices, and you're paying lots and lots of gas money to heat fresh air because those windows are not fit for purpose and they're dangerous.
Not challenging.
You know, and I know, but I just want to say as well that, you know, I walk around other, I don't walk around lots of Lewisham Estate.
I do.
When I do, yeah. I'm with you. But when I do, I notice that, you know, they've got windows and smart little rooms.
This work,
It
this
looks neglected at the time. You might well just knock the place down. And I bought my place actually, so that is my concern. But everybody as well, you know, people will lose their homes because you're thinking maybe actually this is too expensive to do it, let's just knock it down.
So we're certainly not thinking knock it down because regeneration, there's just no money out there at the moment. So if the government start
We have to
coming
make
in
homes good.
lots of money.
We have to make the homes good.
If I could just touch on the windows again.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I have to stuff toilet tissues all around to keep some of the jars out. And it's terrible. I have to stuff the side all around, sometimes two in the toilet roll to just stuff it to keep the jar out.
Yep. So I'm not gonna, and I don't want to challenge or say, put any doubt on what we are saying because there isn't any. Our stock condition survey is saying the same thing here for an hour, and I'm definitely.
No, I'm just sort of saying there was no coherent thing, but it actually was signposted to be done. And they decided to change the doors, which wasn't a problem. So I'm supposed to have a fire door, but it's a waste of time because if I have a fire, it's going to spread anyway because I can stand from here and look out my front door and see what's outside. So I've been here 35 years this year. And since I've moved in, I've been saying about the windows for 35 years. And I know it's 35 because my daughter's 35 this
So
year.
you claim the same as me. I've been here 48 years.
No, 35 when my daughter was born.
I think your next thing should be we're changing the windows.
Yes.
At this,
Prioritising the windows.
And that is a real problem. What we're trying to do is shift a lot of the money into wrapping up properties, making them more weathertight, which is your windows, your roofs, your rainwater goods, your pointing, and get the ventilation done at the same time because a house which breathes is a better house as far as condensation and damp and mould. So that package of works, we're going to look at the blocks. Now, Mullally, which is the main contractor we use in this area, they've already inspected many of the properties. We will be developing plans. I think we're doing Lewis Silkin at the moment, and that might have not gone as fast as he wanted, or any of us wanted. but we're on with that block. We will be progressing onto others and do consultation. I don't want to put a time scale on it, but it is an urgent need for my service, because unless we deal with the worst properties, we will continue to have a high number of disrepair claims, damp and mould claims, etc., which just not waste my time, but it's time I don't want to spend on that. I want to spend it on the repairs and on the front end. So that's what we want to do. So we will be bringing about more consultation. At the moment, we've got quite a few projects we'll be carrying over into the first few months of next year, but we are developing a 5-year plan, not just a 1-year plan, but a 5-year plan, which will say how we're going to tackle the blocks which need the most work and where within that 5 years they fit. Obviously, some will be at the latter end, some will be at the beginning, but it's worse first. So if you're stuffing toilet paper down your windows and they're being held up by metal beams, sounds like they've got a good chance of being at the early end.
That's why we've tried to make this coherent plan in this first year.